Today's conversation is sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you want to learn more about how to make your 9-to-5 optional, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising. So what happens when you live out your ideal day? There's this whole concept of, what is your ideal day and what day do you want to live over and over and over? The day that you can repeat if you had to set your life on repeat every single day. And I've gone through so many different exercises, and some call it ideal day, some call it a dream day, some days the day you want to relive for over and over and forever and ever. But at the end of the day, it really is what happens when you live out your ideal day. And I guess I have a question that I'm going to ask you at the end as it relates to being able to live out your ideal day. And so a lot of times I think back to my life when I was in corporate and start to understand how some of these different types of stories of how they've positively impacted me today, how they've stretched my thinking and thinking about the ideal day and what is your ideal day, number one, and what happens when you live it out is something that is another way of kind of being able to frame and understand how you can get to the goals that you set for yourself. And so one of the things that, if I reflect back on my corporate career, in my early 40s, it's probably around 2015, 2016, something like that. Maybe actually it was 2015. It definitely was not 2016, but 2015, I remember working with the coach. And it was one of these things where we were trying to understand, what day would I want to live over and over again. And so went through an exercise, and maybe I'll talk about this if I haven't talked about it before, but there was an exercise that really looked at, okay, what was my thinking like? And I remember, first of all, the things that I wanted to think about were the actual stuff that I wanted to have. So I was thinking about the watches and thinking about the nice cars. And that's the reason that I was doing all the work to get money to have these things. And then I wanted to be able to do other things with family members and friends and stuff like that. And then ultimately I thought about, okay, well, what is the type of person that I want to be? And what I realized was that line of thinking was really focusing on things and stuff versus changing and becoming the person that I wanted to be, the person that was going to not just be an employee, but that person that was going to be able to lead a team of people in a business that was serving my own clients. So I had to kind of flip it on its head. Like I said, if I haven't talked about that, maybe I'll do a completely separate episode on that, because that's really about the belief patterns and the things that you're thinking about. But as I went through this exercise in 2015, like I said, in my early 40s, it was about understanding where my mindset was. And so at the time, I'm somebody who was really focused on, I realized that going through that exercise, I was focused on really getting more stuff or having more stuff. And then I realized it was what I wanted to be able to do is have the true inner strength to be able to get stuff done, to be able to lead teams of people, to be able to attract the right people to want to be a part of my team, to be able to go out and serve clients that were our ideal client. Speaking of ideal days, right? But the things that happens along the way is, especially when you are in a corporate role and you are a high achiever and you're in a top talent program and you feel like every single thing is going through you, and if nothing goes through you, then it's not important, is you're burning the candle at both ends, because you are, just like I was back in this time, early 40s, and in corporate career, was excelling in the job, really crushing it. And then early in the mornings and late into the evenings, I was also building my own dream, being able to serve my own clients and working on building what at the beginning was a side hustle, but actually became a full-blown business. But at the end of the day, I was just exhausted because I was burning the candle at both ends. And so what I realized is, as I started working with a coach, and I had a paid coach, and this paid coach took me through this process. And it's a process that I still even use today, because this is why I'm giving you some insight now in terms of what the ideal day was. I realized that I was thinking about and approaching what I wanted to, the positive impact that I wanted to make. I was approaching it from the absolute wrong way of things. And so I realized that there is a more appropriate way of thinking. And so that I'm not really thinking about the stuff, right? The cars, the watches, the status symbols. It was really more about, how did I become the person that I wanted to become? And then how could I create the experiences for the loved ones and for the people that were the most important in my life? So when I was working with my coach, one of the things that helped me to understand getting to the ideal day is, okay, well, think about these three different areas. Who is the person that I must be or that I want to be or want to become? What are the things that I want to do and experience? And then also, what are the things that I also ultimately want to have? And so as I started to leverage, one of the key areas was I created a dream board. And this dream board really helped me focus on these different three areas so that I could visually see it. Right? Who was the person that I wanted to become? What were the different attributes that needed to be a part of it? And then what are the things that I want to do? Like, what are the things that you want to do with your family, with your friends? And then what are the things that you want to have? But putting them in that order really helped me to get crystal clear on creating the plan that was going to help me start to live out my ideal day, because I was visually seeing every day the things, the priorities that were most important to me. And so I will tell you that what happens when you get to live out your ideal day. Well, this is something that I wanted to share because I told you I was going to share it in the beginning, and I'm going to keep these episodes really short. But the question, I guess, more importantly is, when do you actually live out your ideal day? The answer may surprise you because this is what this entire short, brief episode is about. But the whole point is the ideal day is something that you're creating. It's something that you are chasing. It's something that you are after. And what happens when you live your ideal day? Well, I can tell you that I've chased the ideal day, and to date, I've not been able to live it out consistently. But I can tell you what's happened, and what's more importantly, what happens for you is that the way that I go about attaining or getting to my ideal has completely changed. The things that I believed were important, which were the things, is actually who is the person that I must become? What do I have to go through so that I can then create the experiences for myself, for my loved ones, which gets me closer to the ideal day? And then ultimately, what are the things that I want to be able to have so that I'm able to live out my ideal day, so that you're able to live out your ideal day? And then guess what? As you continue to evolve, as you continue to get closer to that ideal day, the person that you want to become more than likely will continue to evolve, will continue to want to change, to become the next version of you, as well as the things that you want to do and the things that you want to be able to have. So what happens when you live out your ideal day? I guess the question is, when you get there, can you let me know? Because I've been in pursuit of my ideal day for quite a while. Now I can tell you that my days are continuing to be much more fulfilled, much more impactful for myself and for others that I choose to interact with. But it is something that you're consistently chasing, is that ideal day. And what happens when you live out your ideal day? You're going to want to create a new ideal day, because you're an ambitious person, because you're someone who's driven, and you're someone who knows will make a positive impact. My ideal day is consistently evolving, consistently adapting, because I am consistently adapting. Say that 4 times real fast. And you are consistently evolving and adapting. So what happens when you live out your ideal day? Well, you'll be ready for another ideal day, and you'll be recreating it. And more importantly, you will have had a process, or you have a process to go through the things in the person that you must become, the things that you want to do, and the things that you will also want to have, in that order, not the reverse that I was doing in the very beginning. So if you've got questions, if you want to share today's conversation, you feel like you know someone who's been stuck, they've been going after it, they don't even think about the ideal day because they're just in the rut, they've got their head down going all the time, give them this concept of what the ideal day is. Maybe in another video or in another podcast, talk about exactly what is that exercise, the be, the do, the have exercise, but chasing towards your ideal day. If you know someone, share the episode. While you're sharing this episode, you're taking it, you're talking about it, seeing how you get closer to your ideal day. I'll be here creating the next conversation or the next episode. So until then, go out and make it a great day. And thank you very much. Freedom. Today's conversation was sponsored by the Billy Keels Advisory Program. If you're looking to make your 9-to-5 optional and need some help, just go to billykeels.com/advising. Once again, that's billykeels.com/advising.